Hey y'all, it's Jasmine. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my flows are all about accessibility and meeting you where you are on the mat. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you and I love that you love flowing with me. I couldn't say it, but I do love y'all. So today's flow will be very special in a sense of there will be no standing poses. We will be on the ground the entire time, showing our hips and spine some love. So before we get started, I do have my blocks here. They will be very important in today's practice, as well as a knee pad. If you have a knee pad, great. If you don't, you can use a blanket, a towel, or you can roll your mat up and give yourself some cushion. So let's get started. We're actually going to begin in an easy seated pose here. And my blocks, they run away from me. We're going to begin in an easy seated pose with our legs straightened out. And before we get started, we're just going to set an intention for today's practice, whether it's yoga related or personal. It's just a place for us to get grounded and set our intentions. So, settling into your mat, feeling the earth beneath you, and placing your hands wherever they feel comfortable as you set an intention for today's practice. Connecting with our breath, feeling the breath flow in and out of our bodies. And if your eyes have been closed, begin to open them and connect back to your surroundings. And I'm just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls before we get started here and settling into this mat. So, as mentioned, today's flow, we will be on the ground the entire time and there will be no standing poses. However, we're going to show our hips and spine some love today. So, we're going to remain in our seated position here with our legs out in front of us here. And I have my blocks next to me on the side as they will be incorporated into our first move of our warm up here. So, again, we're in the seated pose and we're going to inhale our hands up, gazing at our thumbs here, or your ceiling, the sky, whatever is above you, looking towards your eyebrows. And we're taking our right hand here, and we're going to bring it behind us to the right side of our bodies. And with our left hand, you can either place it on your right thigh here, on your block, which is next to you. And we're going to twist open to the right side of our bodies, looking over our shoulders here and connecting with our breath. So, length is high, reaching through our crown. And with each breath, see if you can twist a little bit deeper as you look over your shoulder, but going to the twist that is comfortable for you. Return to center and repeat on the opposite side. Arms lifted above your head here, gazing at your thumbs. And then we're twisting to the left side of our bodies here. And again, hand can be on your left thigh here, or on the block, or on the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're looking over our left shoulder here. Return to center. And we're going to now do a seated tree pose or variation of our tree pose here. So with our right leg straightened, we're going to bend our left leg here. And feel free to place a block underneath your knees if that's comfortable for you, or you can just let it hang, whichever works best for you. And I'm actually going to take my other block and place it to the outside of my right leg and reach down here towards my, actually, I'm going to move it because it feels better. And reach down towards my feet here. And you could be working towards grabbing your feet, your shins, or framing just your straight leg here. And we're breathing in this seated tree variation. And notice how your hips feel in this position. Mine are a little tighter, which this blocks really help how cocked up it is. Kind of, connecting with the ground here. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, straighten your spine. And now we're going to repeat on the opposite side here. So now bringing in your right leg, and we're going to actually bend down towards now to the left side of our bodies, framing that front leg as we stretch down. And notice how your hips feel on this side. And they might feel different, and that is okay. Inhale, straighten your spine, sit up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, rising up. Now meeting me in a tabletop position. So in this tabletop position, we're going to check our alignment here. So hips over our knees, shoulders over wrist here in this tabletop position. And we're pushing away from the earth. So very strong in your arms here. And now we're going to tap into cat cow. So dropping our bellies here, opening our chest, looking towards our eyebrows. Toes could be tucked or untucked, whatever feels best for you. Exhale, round your spine, belly button to spine here. Inhale, dropping that belly. Exhale, rounding your spine. So feel free to move through cat cow on your own here. Kind of filling it out for today's practice. Moving with some fluidity if you like for this pose here. So we wake up our spine. Return back to a neutral spine here. And now we're going to tap into some hip circles. So imagine that you have a marker in your belly button and you're trying to draw a circle. It could be big or small. So I'm actually going to begin bringing my hips towards the right side of my body here and bringing it back and around, reaching over again, imagining I'm drawing a circle with the marker. And we are moving again, just creating some movement and warming up our hips. And your circles could be as big or as small as you like. We're going to go through a couple of more to the right side here. Center yourself and then repeat on the opposite side. Now we're moving in the left direction here. And be as animated as you like. These circles could be as big or as small. You can add some, again, some fluidity to your movement here. And before we tap here, I'm just going to return back into a tabletop position and crawl my hands up and give my wrist a break here, as we've been on our wrist for a while in our warm up. So just rotating, doing some wrist circles in the opposite direction. So return back to your tabletop position here. We're actually going to sprawl our left leg off the mat here in this position. And now we're going to, and again, toes could be tucked or untucked, whatever feels best for you. We're going to bring our right hip or hips back down to our right side here in this nice pose. Returning back to this modified tabletop position with your left leg straightened out. And we're just going to flow in between this movement here. So bringing our hips back, returning to a neutral spine, and just flowing in between the two here. Moving with your breath in this position. Now returning back to this neutral spine, your leg is still sprawled out here. Now we're actually going to take our left hand here and twist open, sort of like a thread the needle. So pushing into your right arm here, you can actually open up by leading with your elbow here, twisting open, or you can open up leading with your arms here. And then we're going to take our arm that is lifted and bring it under the right side of our body. So sort of like that thread the needle. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, thread the needle here. Now returning your hands to the ground here in this neutral position and then switching to the opposite side. So now your right leg is coming off the mat here and we're going to go in between, sitting towards our hips here and then lifting up. So just breathing, figuring out what feels best for you here and the movement you create. One more, sitting your hips back. And then return to your neutral position here, opening up to the right side of your body. Exhale, threading under your left arm. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, open up. Exhale. Return back to a tabletop position. Widen your knees, pushing your big toes together, and push your hips back for child's pose here. now looking up and then returning to a neutral position here in your tabletop position, neutral spine. Now what we're doing is we're going to actually get into a low lunge or crescent lunge. So we're going to take our right arm and putting most of the weight as we bring in that right arm, as we bring our left leg in the front of us here. And I'm just going to place now my knee pad underneath my knees here. And you can also grab your blocks and lifting up for a low lunge position here. So actually, both of my hands will just rest on my knees here as I bring my hips forward here for a nice stretch. So it's just a nice pulsation here of this move. Extending here my hips. Now with your right hand, you're going to bring your right hand towards the front of your mat and then around and then reaching back here as comfortable as it is for you. So a nice twist and then bring both hands up as you push your hips forward in this low lunge position. Now framing your front foot with your hands, you're going to actually now go back into a tabletop position. And here you can do a modified chaturanga. So I'm going to show this how this looks for you. So again here, this is a modified chaturanga. So we're in a plank position. Here you're going to bring your head forward here or crown. As you lower down, you can then tap into a cobra, low, high, medium, whatever feels best for you. So that could be an option. Or you can tap into a more traditional chaturanga. So in a full plank here, bringing your crown forward, lowering down. Inhale, cobra, and then exhale. So choosing whichever works for you. Let's now do that Vinyasa flow here. So let's tap into our chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And then now we're going to actually return back to this neutral position. So that's going to be our vinyasa. Now placing majority of your weight here to your left arm, bringing your right foot forward. And now you're resting both of your hands here on your right knee with some pulses, checking in to this low lunge. Now bringing your left hand forward and then around, opening up here, and then inhale both hands into this low lunge position. Framing your front foot here, and then chaturanga. Lowering down, inhale cobra, exhale back to your tabletop position. Now bringing your left leg up here. We're going to move a little bit faster. Now we are pulsating again with our hands rested on the left side of our bodies. Now reaching your right hand forward and around here. Inhale both hands up. Now we're going to frame our front foot here and then push our hips back as we straighten the front leg here for a half splits pose. And feel free to adjust yourself in this pose. Whew, got me moving today, y'all. So now we're here in our half splits pose, and I'm actually just going to show you all how that looks with blocks here. So this just helps bring up the earth for you. And it could be standing up or lowered, whatever works best for you. This is your version of your half splits pose. Now returning back to your low lunge here, and then into now your chaturanga. Lower down, cobra, and then push back up to your modified table. Putting your weight into the left side of your body, stepping your right leg up, and now we're pulsating and repeating on the opposite side. Reaching your left hand towards the front and around here, opening up. Inhale, sweeping both arms up now for your low lunge. Framing your front foot. And then push your hips back, straightening out your front leg here into your half splits pose. Front foot could be pointed or what do they call it? Flointed, where you are flexing your foot as well as pointing it up towards the ceiling here. So feeling a nice stretch in the backside of your leg. Returning back to your low lunge. And now your chaturanga. Lowering down to your plank. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Return to your tabletop position. Placing that weight into the right side of your body as you bring your left leg up into your low lunge position. And now we're pulsating. So both hands on the left side of your body. Reaching your right hand forward and around. Inhale, both hands up. Your low lunge position. Framing your front foot. Half splits pose. Straightening out your front leg and flexing your front foot here. Now what we're moving on to or adding to this sequence here, we're going to actually bend our front knee here and we're going to widen it out to a 45-degree angle. So facing towards off of your mat, and we're going to actually tap into a lizard pose. So you can grab your blocks here and place your hands here on the block. In that same kind of pulsating we were doing in the low lunge with our hands on our knees, we're going to actually just move in between that pulsation feeling there or movement in our lizard pose. So if you like to, you can put your knee pad under to give yourself some cushion here so you're fully supported. And then we're going to find some stillness here in this lizard pose. I'm just going to move my blocks. But however, you keep on doing whatever feels best for you as you sit in this stillness. Now putting your weight in your right arm, we're going to open up here to the left side of our bodies for a nice twist here. And also, if you like, you can also straighten out and lift your back leg here as well. But I'm going to have mine lowered. And of course, my knee pad wants to run away. Placing both your hands back inside of your foot here. We're going to now return to a neutral tabletop position and then chaturanga. Lower down. Inhale, cobra. Lower down. Return to your neutral spine here. Now placing all of your weight into the left side of your body. Bringing your right leg up now and pulsating in this low lunge variation. Reaching your left hand forward and around here. And then inhale, sweeping your hands up for a low lunge position here. Framing your front foot, pushing your hips back, half splits pose. Bending at your front knee, both hands going inside. And now we're in our lizard pose. And feel free to pulsate, be in stillness, whatever feels best for you. Inhale, opening up to the right side of your body. Back leg could be lowered or lifted. And then return your hands to the inside of your foot. And then your chaturanga. Lowering down for a vinyasa flow here. Uphill, up dog cobra. I'm just making stuff up. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Returning back to our tabletop position here. So we're going to do this fully in one full swoop now. Now we got the 3 poses, so let's get into it. So stepping our right leg up here, pulsating in this low lunge variation, reaching your right hand up and over here, reaching towards the back of your mat. Inhale, low lunge. Framing your front foot, half split pose. Bending your front leg, reaching your hands towards the inside for a lizard pose. Inhale, open up to the left side of your body. Our vinyasa. So plank pose. Lowering down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Bringing up to our neutral spine. Putting weight towards our left side of our bodies. Bringing our right leg up here for our low lunge variation. Pulsating here. Reaching forward with our left arm and around. Inhale, sweeping our hands up. Low lunge. Framing our front foot, pushing our hips back, straightening our front leg. Half split pose. Bringing our hands towards the inside and then bending our front knee here off to the side to a 45-degree angle. Lizard pose. Back knee could be lifted or on the ground. Inhale, open up to the right. Last time for our vinyasa. Plank pose. Bringing our crown forward, lowering down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Returning to our tabletop position. Whew, we did it, y'all. So we're going to get out of here by just sitting or bringing our right side down and then bringing our legs out again in this seated position with our legs out in front of us here. I don't know about y'all, but I am ready to lay down. So we're going to actually lower down here on the ground. and get ourselves situated. If you're breathing a little heavy, it's okay. We were moving today. So, before we tap into Shavasana, as you see me over here kicking my blocks, we're going to actually do a couple of supine twists to the right and left side of our bodies. So, bending our left leg here and then bringing it towards our chest. And what we're going to do now is take our right hand and then bring this left knee over here to the right side of our bodies. And your bottom leg could be straight or bent as well. And you can look over to the right side, or if you like a little challenge, you can turn your head to the left side of your mat. As we breathe into the left side of our bodies here. Ooh, feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great. How are you? Now returning your body to a neutral position. Now we're going to repeat on the opposite side. So bending our right knee here and bringing it towards our chest. And taking your left arm and bringing that right knee over to the left side of our bodies. And again, bottom leg could be straight or bent with our other leg here. And you can have a neutral spine here. So looking forward or straight up, looking to your left side, or if you like a little challenge, looking towards the right side of your body here. Feeling that nice twist as we breathe into our bodies here. Return your bodies to a neutral position here as we prep for Shavasana. So, in your Shavasana, and actually, let me take my ponytail down because, girl, the neck was not straight. For your Shavasana here, you can be in a constructive rest here. So, knees bent, and then they're towards kind of leaning towards and more towards each other. I said towards 3 times, y'all, not 4. So now they're leaning towards each other here in this pose. So this is a constructive rest. So this is an option for you here. Or if you like to kind of dabble into the traditional Shavasana, straighten out your legs here with your arms rested. And in your Shavasana, not only do I ask for you to connect with your breath, but also reconnect with your intention that you set before we started our practice today, and just checking in with yourself. So before I go quiet, begin to breathe and feel your body connecting with the ground here. Now, if you have more time for Shavasana, I will always encourage you to stay and sit in it. However, if you're coming out with the rest of us, begin to reconnect with yourself. This could look like wiggling your fingers and toes, slowly opening your eyes if they have been closed, and reconnecting with your surroundings here. Turning over to the left or the right side of your mat, whatever feels best for you, as we sit in this fetal position just for a little bit. Really thanking myself today for showing up on today's mat, and I hope you're doing the same. Pushing yourself up. Thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. I really appreciate you for always coming flowing with me. And come back to this practice if you want to build some heat, but stay low to the ground. Until next time, bye.